Hey, good afternoon. This is Lyric Allen in tune with you, literally from anywhere. So don't be surprised if I pop up in your area. This segment, I'm just gonna touch bases and kind of give my perspective or give some insight or information. How can I say information or advice for independent artists who seeks individuals to listen to their music. Um, a little bit about my entertainment background. You're gonna say, "Oh, entertainment." Yeah. Back in 2006, myself and three of my cousins established this independent record label called Beaushine Entertainment. The name developed, you know, my aunt and my uncle who are now deceased. Beaushine. His name was Bo Ski Bo, and her name was Shine. There was a nickname, so that's how we came up with Beaushine Entertainment. Um, my cousin, the first artist was Sassy T, female artist, vocals like no other, sounds like no other. How I got her back into the studio, the last day of class, there was this guy named Lalo, originally from Miami. We somehow got on the conversation of music. He told me he was a producer. I told him I had a cousin that could spit 16 bars straight. He didn't believe me, so I got her in the studio. When I got her in the studio, it was a done rap. It was over and done with. He couldn't believe it. It was amazing. Then after that, everything just picked up. The timing was perfect. Show after show, traveling from place to place, it blew up. So that's a little bit about that. Besides them, I work with a couple of local artists. Work with a couple of famous artists as well, as far as booking or what have you. So, like I said, this segment is for um, artists who give their music out for people to listen to and review. And I say this because I went down to an event, my homeboy and I, Mr. Man Black, which you will meet in a future video. We went down, it was open mic, poetry, you can perform your music or what have you. So this one particular guy gets up and perform, and his chorus, his voice catches my ear. So I was like, okay, listen to the words, listen to how he spit and everything. I was like, okay, cool. So after his performance, I went up to him and I gave him a business card and told him, email me some more of your music. I would like to hear more of your music. And, he apologized for not having this material, what have you. I was like, okay, no problem, just email it to me. So he emailed it to me that next day. And I told him I'd get to it as soon as I can. And he emailed me again and said, did you get it or whatever? I said, well, I listened to it, but I haven't gone through it entirely. So that weekend, I took my time and went through all 9 tracks, at least 2 to 3 times, so I can break each track down. And when I provided him with feedback, I provided feedback for each individual track. If I didn't like the track, I told him I didn't like the track. 2 of his tracks had gave me a Tupac-like vibe. So I felt like that was a compliment. And some of the breakdowns in the beats was awesome. And he had one song that put me in the mind of a Soulja Boy nursery rhyme. Now, remind you, I just gave him props on, the Tupac vibe, the beats and everything. And then at the end of it, I wrapped everything up and everything. I had to print the paper out so I could read verbatim his response. But at the end of it, I was just telling him maybe consider playing around with his vocals and everything. Switch up his deliverance from time to time. Probably blend his voice into the music, the whole 9. Now, remind you, I knew everything wasn't mixed down. I knew the CD wasn't mixed down, but me being the person I am, I still wanted to listen to it. Other people, they probably wouldn't even listen through the first track. So I sent him the feedback and everything, and like I said, I had to print out the paper so I could read his response verbatim. He said, I appreciate your feedback, and also thanks for checking out my material. It means a lot to me. My music is my existence. It is the only reason I breathe. Throughout my life, people have always been judgmental about my brand of music. I read your thoughts about my music, my product. When you use the terms such as nursery rhymes, you make it sound as if I'm a Soulja Boy or something of that nature. Now, remind you, forget that he's focused on this Soulja Boy nursery rhyme, but mind you, again, I gave him props on 2 of his tracks that gave me that Tupac-like vibe, but he missed all of that. Then he goes to say, which everybody has their own mind and opinion. If I were to read your review of me in a hip hop magazine, I wouldn't purchase the works based on how you describe my material. You can call it constructive criticism. I do everything on my own. None of my music has been mixed or mastered. I just recorded them and went on to the next song. I wrote these in 6 days. I recorded those songs in 4 hours due to financial reasons. However, thank you, and I apologize for making you listen to my unprofessional music. Have a great day, and he signed his name. Now, I'm not the messy type to put the person's name out there, but if I was that type, I would put him on blast. But as you can see, he was in his feelings just because of that one comment. Now, mind you, he doesn't know who I am. He doesn't know who I'm plugged into. Now, after I had reviewed the music, I had sent the music out. But once he made this statement, that just showed me what type of person he was. Because let's just say I was connected to some big label records, or I know a couple of people, which I do know a couple of people that have some good record labels, whether they're independent or up there. You know, when I just as quick as I clicked that button and told them, you know, hey, provide me some constructive feedback, I want to help this artist or whatever, just as quick as I pressed that button to ask them to provide me for feedback, just as quick as I sent the text message and said, don't even worry about the music. So if you're an independent artist, don't get in your feelings about your music, because if you have somebody in your circle that likes every single track that you put out, and you don't even like some of your tracks because you know some of your tracks are garbage, then that's a problem. I'm not the type of person that's going to sit there and lie to you and say, oh yeah, that track is hot, it's fire. No, if I don't like that track, I'm like, nah, I don't like that. I don't like that sound. Maybe somebody else might, but I don't like it. It's my opinion. You know, if I feel like you need an ad-lib, if I feel like you missing something, I'm going to let you know. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's not me. So, again, art, and also, if I was a record label, again, you don't know me. If you were signed to a record label and you thought your hit, that track was a hit, and the record label say, nah, I don't like it, you need to go back in the studio, you ain't gonna get in your feelings, because they're gonna tell you either go in there, fix that track, think of something else, or you off the label. So you gotta look at it like that. You never know who you come into contact with. That person may hold the keys to the gate that could turn your life around. Until then, stay in tuned for the next video.